The trade war with China is hitting one American chain pretty hard, and that means Dollar Tree is raising prices. Let's connect the dots. Up until now, Dollar Tree was the only major U.S. dollar chain that managed to keep that $1 promise. But recently, that promise has started to take a toll. According to Barron's, Dollar Tree buys most of its imported goods from China, and with rising tariffs, those goods are getting more expensive to import. So, according to Business Insider, the store is quietly testing Dollar Tree Plus, a collection of items sold for more than $1. The new Price Your Bargains include everything from toys to pet food to beauty products. Dollar Tree started this experiment at certain stores in the middle of May, but apparently it has already worked well enough that they are expanding to more than 100 stores across the country. So, be prepared to shell out more dollar bills on your next trip. Connecting the dots, I'm Talarico for H-Town Rush.